ESCANOR is so broken that when his soul came out of his fucking body, it destroyed a Ten Commandments. If that doesn't scream OP, I don't know what the fuck does. He literally burnt Scylla alive. She melted from eating his soul. Holy son of a... Just, holy shit. Just, like, really. His soul got pushed out like Bond. Scylla looked like she had the upper hand. And then all of a sudden, when she's starting to feast on that soul, she just starts, like, burning like sunlight and just melts. She's fucking dead. Holy shit. Holy shit. Just ESCANOR. My god, man. I love you. Just seriously. His character right now is just so interesting because he's so broken, but then he has that huge weakness of being, you know, weak, like how he is at night, which I'm going to discuss in just a second. So, ESCANOR just wiped out two Ten Commandments. Let me make sure I do clarification. There's only 10. These guys are like the servants of the Demon King. And ESCANOR soloed 2 Ten Commandments. Like nothing. They were piss poor shit compared to him. Because he wasn't even at max. He was not even at max. And I don't think he was really nowhere near his max. Or I don't even think it was close to noon. Because if you were to go back to the side story with ESCANOR, with, you know, the vampires and stuff, ESCANOR looked way more beefcaked in that side story. And he wasn't even at noon yet in the side story. So I think that when it came to this chapter, I don't think ESCANOR was nowhere near noon. And if that is the case, we haven't even seen his max. We have not seen ESCANOR's max of how he is. And I mean, if he can just wipe out 2 commandments like nothing, GG. G fucking G. Like, whoa. Because that is ridiculous. He literally made Gollum shit himself, ran like a little bitch, and turned into stone. Scylla tries to eat his soul, and then she burns alive. Just like... if that is not overkill, I don't know what is. Like, actually, in a way, ESCANOR didn't even kill them. Like, he didn't really even lift a finger, if we do think about this. See, like I said, Gollum, he got so fucking scared, he ran like a little bitch, and then got turned to stone. Scylla, she uses her move, and because of ESCANOR's so OP body and soul, she killed herself. Like, she literally just... killed herself. That's kind of how you could also look at Scylla. So Gollum, he caused his own demise thanks to the power and aura of ESCANOR, and Scylla thinking she's just, you know, oh, this is easy, I want to eat your soul, she killed herself. So ESCANOR is that broken, he didn't even really fight. Like, he didn't. He didn't even go up against him and just start beating the fucking shit out of him. He just stood there. He's like, I'm beefcake, can't do shit to me. That's what happened. So... ESCANOR, I want more of you. I want more ESCANOR. But knowing how we just had 2 Ten Commandments get wiped out like that, I don't think we're probably going to have the focus on ESCANOR for maybe another 5 or so chapters, because now we need to get back over to the plot point with Diane, and then Matrona, and how Matrona has changed her entire viewpoint. Like, I want you to be a dancer. Like, whoa, left field. Like, left fucking field. Like, what? Dancer? Like, that's a huge difference from her personality in the past. You remember how she was all about war and the clan, secession, different things like that? Seeing that? Like, what? Okay, so there's not much information to go on. I'll get into that next week when we get more. So, back into the other stuff. Seeing ESCANOR on the cover page, when I see him all beefed up, and then you see this little scrawny version that's like weak old man version, I couldn't help but laugh. Because that cover is like night and day. And it suits ESCANOR because night and day changes his power level. And seeing how different he is, like how he's just so macho, and then he comes down and like turns into like this weak looking old man, it's hilarious. And I think it adds the perfect balance to ESCANOR because, thinking about it, Escanor's badass, okay? I think we can all agree Escanor is badass. We love his design. We love how he is so strong, how his pride is, how he just wiped out 2 Ten Commandments. I think we can all agree that we love that quite a bit. But then there comes a time in manga that a character could be too OP. A character that's too OP doesn't really add any danger to the world. Like, you feel like there is no threat to the series or any of the characters. And that's a huge problem for a lot of manga or anime, because a character is just so strong, you're like, there's just no way he can lose. But that isn't the case. See, Escanor, his fatal weakness is, one thing, his pride. That's the first thing I want to point out. Pride can get your ass beat. We saw that many times with Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z. So, that is one to point out, but that ain't the main one that you really need to focus on. The next one is how nighttime makes him the weakest of the human species. See, Escanor, the reason why he balances out is because he only has this strength at one point in the day. Only one specific point. And when that point is done, he starts weakening. And so that makes it to where he's not so broken to where he can always win. Because let's say if an enemy learns about his weakness, it's like, oh, he gets weak in the day. I mean, he gets weak later at night. GG, he's done. We could just attack him in the middle of the night, put him out of his misery, and then we don't have to worry about him in the middle of the day. So that's a huge weakness for Escanor. That is a really bad weakness for him, and I think that was the perfect way to write Escanor's character and how Nakaba-sensei decided to do his design with his powers, because it adds enough balance. Okay, so we also have it to where I'm getting some sinister vibes from Galen's statue. I do want to take a moment to point this out. If you noticed, we got to see Galen's statue multiple times in this chapter. And if you look closely, Galen didn't get shattered. Like, his statue was not shattered. So, you could consider him not really dead. I mean, think about it. You could actually consider him not really dead, because we do know Galen is like one of the only ones that could return Merlin back to her regular body. And Galen being in stone, it doesn't really mean he's dead. So there might be a possibility that Galen could have his stone aura, like the stone curse, completely taken off of him, and he could come back, which would mean that Merlin is still a stone statue. I could already see where Nakaba-sensei might be taking this. Since Galen didn't get destroyed, that would mean that maybe the curse is still affecting Merlin. Merlin is probably still stone. And what do you think is going to happen when Escanor goes to see his girl Merlin and realizes that Merlin is stone? That's going to be even worse than what we saw happen to Galen. I can already see it. And if that is the case, that was great. That is very great on Nakaba-sensei's part for actually using that type of plot point, because I think we all want to see how Escanor would react to finding out more about Merlin, and then find out that she's stone. He would probably get pissed off and go after Galen. Like, his entire objective would be to shatter Galen into a million pieces, where you can't even recognize him anymore. I could see something like that happening, because with Galen's statue being intact, being shown multiple times, it makes me think that the curse might still be activated against Merlin. So that's probably going to be a future plot point. Now, Scylla, I think Scylla's dead. I think, actually, if you do consider this, there's only one Ten Commandment probably dead, and Galen has a possibility of being brought back. There is a possibility, so I'm going to hold my cards, actually, for now. So that's about it. I mean, that's this chapter of Taizai. Pretty good chapter. I love the start to the finish. Getting to see the night and day difference between Escanor with him, like, being an old man, and then Beefcake mode. I love getting to see how he was ordering Bond, like, stay here. And then just all this other dialogue. Just very good chapter. Solid. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.